Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Wigger Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well today. It's wonderful to be back, my friends. Like I said, it's busy time. We're trying to get everything organized, and I appreciate a chance to kind of get back with you guys and do another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are continuing to conquest yourselves and well as other people and everything around you. Because once you're able to control yourselves, you're able to control everything else around you, warriors. And that's the key type of thing. So great to be with you. Thank you for all the comments. I'm way behind. I have to admit that. Way behind on my shout outs and my topics, but I will get to those this weekend. Hopefully be able to kind of bring you a bunch of more topics, and I have a few more on my list that I have to cover as well. Today I want to cover one that is really kind of more special to me, because as I'm learning, and I think I'm over 1,200 days or something like that of NoFap and non-releasing, and I want to kind of share with you guys something that is really important when it comes to all this. And one of the issues that I had problems with is getting angry. And I had a lot of energy because I played football when I was in college and high school, and I think I built up that mentality of just kind of being aggressive. And there's nothing wrong with being aggressive. However, what we're trying to get to is that controlled aggression, being a controlled monster. And that's a key thing when it comes to being a masculine male and a warrior. And I didn't have that, and I'm beginning now to realize more and more how important that is. And I've made some strides, and I want to talk about this as we talk about this. So no shout outs on this one, but I'm going to try to cover a lot of this information from my perspective, and hopefully you guys get something out of this as well. All right, so we talk about, the topic of this one will be don't get angry under semen retention. And the bottom line really is you're learning self-control. And I'm learning more self-control as time goes on. And as a result of that, I'm able to control more things in my life that I can control. And I go back to the idea of Stoicism, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, great ideas about the ideas way back in the Roman days and the Greek days, talking about the idea of self-control. And I've come to believe, and I'm 62 years old, my friends, so as warriors, I've come to believe that there's not a lot you can control around you. God is in control of all those type of things. But the things you can control are the things that you react to. And so as you react to things, that's the key element in all this. The key element is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. And that's one of the things you can control. You can only control your behaviors around you. You can't control other people. No matter how much you want to try, you cannot control other people. Whether it's women, men, it doesn't really matter. But you can control yourself. And so I'm going to talk about this a little bit through this video, and talk about how we are slowly but surely learning how to control ourselves the way God wanted us to, the way Jesus controlled himself. And so that's through not only temptation, but obviously one of the temptations that Satan gets us on is anger and losing control. And that's one of those things that you have to learn how to control. And so as we talk about all these type of things, obviously in my book, because this started with me about 3 years ago with the streak, I started with the idea of retention. Because in my life, that was the most difficult. Yes, I had problems with anger, management, control, all those type of things. But a lot of it started was because I was more angry when I was releasing and back and forth, and I couldn't control that. And so I had a lot of my anxiety, depression, all these things happen more because of that fact. And so because of it, my anger level was high. But it started with the retention. Now, once I started doing the retention, and I realized the benefits of retention, one of which is the idea of self-control. Now you're learning to control things you can control. I can't control people shooting me pictures on the internet. I can't control the books at a store. I can't control what people put on TV, but I can control my participation in that. And that's when I started realizing that your control is only to the level of things that you can actually do something about. And this is what God tells us about, that he grants us a serenity to be able to know the difference between things I can control and things I can't control. And so one of the things that's important, warriors, to realize is that there's things you can control. How you react to something is one of those things. How you interpret something is another one of those things. And so as you look at semen retention, I looked at that and said, okay, this is something I'm going to really take seriously. And now I've been doing it for 3 years, and it's phenomenal. I've actually ended up, because of other self-controlled things, now losing, almost, 40 pounds, 35 pounds, 38 pounds, something like that. I feel tremendous, right? I feel like I'm 25 years old. I realize that, even though I'm 62, I still feel in tremendous condition. But I realize that it's important to continue living this lifestyle for the rest of my life. This is the only thing I believe in right now, and part of that is the idea of self-control. So because of retention, that allowed me to do other things, like, for instance, having the control, and anxiety, to be able to take a cold shower in the morning, and continue doing that for 3 years now, right? And then on top of that, then I learned about controlling the food intake. And now I even have an app, and I can keep track of my calories, and there's lots of great things according to that. Then I went into a self-control mode of trying to be able to put an exercise program together with a treadmill, with planks, with the bicycle, with weights, all those type of things. And I've been consistent with that almost 3 years as well. So that is something that now I've kind of pattern of behavior, and because of it, success has really kind of come in a lot of different forms, whether it's money, people attracted to me, all kinds of stuff, because I have now learned how to control myself. Now, the other thing too is the idea of now focusing on learning how to control your emotions. That's the one area that I struggled with. And so as I'm learning this, I'm kind of sharing with you guys some of the things that I'm learning along the path of this. And the idea is you really want to be able to control your reaction to things. And this is where semen retention comes into play. Because as you are now building confidence in yourself, you're not as anxious, you're not as depressed, you're not as tense. Now you feel more confident because you're keeping those energy and nutrients within you. Now you're able to say, okay, now I can get control. If I control my food intake, my exercise, my semen retention, now I can control even more things. And the things I can't control is my thoughts to some level. And also I can control whether I'm going to react to something in a positive or negative way. That's your choice. Yes, things can happen that are bad, but you still have a choice to react to them that are bad. You still have a choice to react to them as good. That's why we always talk about Napoleon Hill saying that every failure is just a seed of next success. That's why Edison was able to turn around the fact that he didn't create a light bulb 100,000 times and making it something that was a positive instead of a negative. Turning a lemon, which is a negative thing, into a lemonade, which is a positive thing. That's because your mind, you're controlling those thoughts, and you're trying to control those things. And so when people, say something bad to you, or they cut you off on the road, you have that choice of saying, how am I going to react to this? And you can react in a negative way and fly off the handle, but that's telling you more about yourself than it is about the other person. And when people can criticize you, that's telling you more about them than you. But you cannot allow them to change your feelings about yourself, your attitudes. And the thing is, if you're on your goals, if you're on your purpose, you're going to continue on your purpose no matter what people say. This is the idea of being stoic like a statue. You're going to continue to be strong. You're going to continue moving in that direction. no matter what people say. Do not allow people to bother you and stop you in your goals. Now, I had that happen to me many, many times, so I understand what I'm saying here. I understand the point that you're looking at and saying, I'm looking at trying to not allow people to stop me. I'm going to continue pushing through. I'm going to continue going through the process, because when I go through the process, I'm able to get stronger and stronger as I go through. And the fact of the matter is, you're not allowing other things around you to dictate you, to change your attitudes and feelings about yourself. And this comes into play when it comes to people criticizing you or trying to get you angry, pressing your buttons, what people do. There's relationships with women. A lot of those things happen because women and men play games a lot of times, and you shouldn't be playing games. If a woman plays a game with you, get out of there. Just leave. And I'll tell you, it's going to get worse, because what happens is when you have silence or you ignore the woman, they're going to come back after you more, because they don't like that. They want to play the games. But do not allow anyone to play games with you. Whereas continue on your path. Continue on your goals. And what's going to happen is you're going to then be able to have a lot more self-control to realize, do I really want to spend time wasting on this person? A lot of times, most of us waste time like crazy. What's the final purpose of texting people or doing this or kind of interacting with people? Are you really doing something out of this? Why are you doing this? And that's what it comes down to, the fact that you think to yourself, what am I doing this for? And so you have that thought pattern. You have that control. So when people criticize you, make fun of you, say you can't do something, you have the choice of saying, I can accept that and say, okay, I'm a loser. Or I can go ahead and say, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm going to go full speed ahead. And that's the question. And so the thing is there's nothing wrong with taking people's opinions, but it's how you end up using those opinions which is going to make the difference. And as you think about anger, you have to start thinking to yourself, okay, I am not going to allow people to dictate me. I'm going to continue on the path I'm going on. I'm getting stronger by the day. I'm able to change those lemons into lemonade, and I'm able to move ahead and achieve my goals no matter what people say. And those people are not going to bring me down. They're not going to stop me. And so there's no reason to get angry at anyone. And what you really want to do, and I remember one of my favorite coaches, Bud Grant with the Minnesota Vikings years ago. The one thing I always remember about Bud Grant, no matter if he's winning by 30 points, losing by 30 points, he would have the same face on the sidelines. It was almost like he was stoic. He didn't let anybody know whether he was happy, sad, or anything like that. He was cool under pressure, and he was someone who was able to just not react to things around him. And so you don't want to get angry. Now, I had that problem for years, as I said. And the thing is, I'm learning more and more about how to not react angrily. And I've had lots of good progress of late to be able to do that. But it's only because I'm in year 3 of my retention program, and I'm now getting to the point where I can handle this part of it, which I struggled for many, many years, and blowing up and getting too angry because I was so used to being the aggression of playing, football in high school and college. And that doesn't leave you very easily because you react the same way all the time. So the key is, my friends, is to realize that anger is not a good thing. You want to keep a cool head. Let other people get angry, but you're not going to get angry. No matter if people yelling or screaming. I had a situation the other day. I was driving and something happened behind me. I don't know what happened, but the woman got out and started screaming at me, and I just continued onward. I didn't know what to say to the person because I didn't really cause anything that was the problem. I think the person eventually was the person behind me they started fighting with, but I just did not react to it. And so if people are yelling at you, screaming at you nowadays with the way people are, you just kind of got to keep moving along. Don't address it. Don't get angry back. There's no need to get back angry with the person because it's only hurting you in the long run. Realize the statement that when somebody says you're angry, you are the one angry. They're not angry. And if your enemies knew how angry you get at them, they'd be probably laughing it up. because they knew they got you angry. Some people like to trigger your buttons. They like to push your buttons. Don't allow them to take advantage of you. All right, my friends. Well, that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today, because I've struggled with that myself. So this is more of a shout out to me on this one, because this is an issue that I've had, I'm dealing with, and I'm getting a little better. I'm crossing some crossroads here, and I wanted to kind of share those with you today. All right, my friends. Well, we'll do one pretty soon again. Hope you guys are doing well. Once again, thank you guys for all the comments, likes, and I promise you guys, and I haven't kept my promise, but I'm going to try to keep my promise of doing some streaming and consulting soon. It's just that I'm so wrapped up with all kinds of work opportunities right now that I haven't had a chance to really get back to this. But I will, and we'll kind of catch you guys soon. So again, two things to always remember, my friends. First, every day is a new day to a great warrior, and you guys, each one of you, each and every one is a great warrior. Never forget that. And secondly, my friends, this is a continual battle. Every day, we're battling to keep our self-control, to allow ourselves to become those stoic people that are in total control and the leaders of the society, which is really the way God wanted us to be. And so because of that, we have to battle